104.1 KRBE, a Cumulus media station.
Good morning, everyone.
We ready?
Live from the TXU Energy Studio.
The Roula and Ryan Show with Eric, featuring Special K and Sam.
And we want to open your eyes to how fast you're aging, and you don't even realize
Well,
it.
everything you do today, you'll pay for down the road.
But down the road isn't that far down. You think, oh, that's down the road.
Yeah.
And all of a
I'll
sudden,
be
down the road is
fine.
today. You're like, oh, dang.
There's nothing sadder than watching like people you look up to your whole life, legends from like football and wrestling, and then you watch them like walking.
Oh, yeah.
Like, because they put their whole body on the line.
They're like
Yes.
in their
handicapped now.
20s.
Yes,
And then
yes.
when they're 70.
Or even 50, Eric.
Yeah, but
There's some, they're so broken.
you watch these wrestlers at these like Comic-Con type places where they sign autographs from. That's how they make money.
And they're
Yeah.
shaky.
And like they're just so
a lot of them
sad.
have
like,
canes.
Yeah, or the little bike thing to take them, the little scooter thing.
Yeah.
It's just sad because they brought so much happiness to you, and you thought they were bigger than life. You know, football players, you see them, and then they
Well, when you get
hip
pummeled
surgeries
for
at
a
40.
living, you're definitely going to pay for that down the line.
sacrifice.
Well, here we go with this story. Scientists tracked the health of hundreds of children that were born in 1959 and kept the research going with these humans until they were 61 years old.
Wow, that's a commitment to
How long is that research project and how many people are on
Lord.
it?
Yeah.
They found that those who regularly smoked or boozed or lounged around and didn't exercise in their younger years ended up sicker and more depressed. And on average, their health started to decline at the young, spry age of just 36.
Wow.
See, I can see that happening too. And as far as the depression
Yeah.
goes, like when you talk about them having that depression down the line, see, it's basic metaphysics. Your body and your mind are tied together. So if your body is aching and hurting all the time, of course, you're going to develop depression.
So they say their findings highlight the importance of tackling risky health behaviors as early as possible to prevent damage from building up over the years. So could you just enjoy all the partying and debauchery and then like at 36 say, I'm going to the gym every day?
Right.
36. To a 14-year-old, 36 is old.
It is. Even in
To
your
a 21-year-old, no, if you're 36, I can't date you. You're so much older than
That's
me.
old. Yeah.
But if you're 30, you're like, oh, well, 36, you're older than me, but not by that much. And then a 40-year-old's like, 36, you're a young
Unless
spring
you're
chicken.
Bill Belichick's girlfriend.
Yeah, it's so creepy, 50 years apart.
Oh, that's
So, yeah,
disgusting.
it turns out the exact age when your unhealthy bad habits catch up with you is the age of 36.
Yikes.
If you're drinking and partying and not exercising.
Hey, I read some on Twitter or Instagram or something. I don't even know if it's true or not. I have to do a deep dive
Right.
about dementia. A lot of people they're seeing stuff with what are they called, statin? What are those for cholesterol? What are they called? The pills you take
I know
to
that.
keep your cholesterol down. Like
Okay.
they said,
I
you
just
need,
saw a commercial for that on
like
TV.
you need you're taking those pills to keep your cholesterol in check. That could be screwing with you.
They also say that
Yeah.
Benadryl,
Because
Benadryl does
Lord.
that
It
too.
just started happening like in the 90s. It's really gone up, dementia. And they're seeing some correlation. I don't know if this is true or not. It's social media. So I'm like, because I take that for my cholesterol.
Oh, you do?
And I'm like, great.
You're going to lose your
What if
mind,
you didn't?
too.
Is yours hereditary? Just sidebar if you want to talk about it. But some people, like I knew a dad in my family circle that he was always eating well and he wasn't an overweight
Yeah,
man.
some people just hereditary.
But he had the most insane cholesterol numbers. His daughters would all be like, oh my God, our dad's cholesterol
I do like to
crazy.
eat meat, so I got to tone that down.
You like that meat.
I've been better the last year or two.
You know,
But
yesterday I really
you worry
wanted
about
some
stuff like that
steak.
because you don't know if you invest and taking
you-
pills. You think your doctor tells you to take it, so you assume it's good for you, and then something happens.
I guess we have to, everything in moderation. I know we've all heard that, but we don't have it always in moderation. But yesterday I really wanted some steak, and I was thinking to myself, I can't remember the last time I ordered a steak somewhere.
Really?
You should have
Yes.
came over. Mark was grilling
Yeah, he was
out.
all
Is that right?
beast mode.
He had a big old steak.
I know.
That thing was massive. I was like, bro, you do not need all that. You didn't even eat
Y'all
his
didn't share it?
vegetables. No, I didn't want steak. I had tuna steak.
Oh God, I can't.
see?
Oh God, how are you doing that? Is that
Oh,
okay
that's
right now?
boring.
Is they do cook it all the way, right?
Dry.
You can't be having that half raw, girl. You're 8 months pregnant, right?
It was seared
Yeah, you-
really well.
Oh Lord, have
supposed to eat
mercy.
that.
That's scary. People are
What?
saying it's true.
People are saying with the cholesterol pill thing.
The statins, is that how you say it?
Hold on, let me see.
Okay.
Statins.
Statins.
Somebody said, yes, I'm a nurse. Statins are linked to dementia. Okay, can we just call
Oh.
it, though, that a lot of things are linked
Like,
to
do you
dementia
want-
now?
That's
As though
true.
everything is linked to
You
that?
want to have a heart attack? From your cholesterol being too...
Right.
You could change
or-
the Mediterranean diet and stop
Yeah.
eating so many
Yep.
saturated fats.
Yeah.
The sat fat. The sat fat. The sat fat.
Kevin would
I
be
thought
the
that's when
worst
you're
nurse.
sitting and you're eating is sat
Or
fat.
doctor.
So, in addition to those statins, I'm reading this article right now. It's the Science Journal. Benadryl is the brand name medication, but a lot of these allergy medicines, cold and anti-itch drugs, there is a 54% increase in the possibility of developing dementia.
And the
from
reason
using
for that
these.
is I saw that come across my Instagram. There's this doctor that I follow who gives you the layman's terms of things you hear in the news.
That's nice.
When somebody says the headline and you have no idea what that means and
Yeah.
he breaks it down. The thing that makes you stop itching, because here's the problem. It's a double-edged sword. You're having an allergy attack. You have to take the Benadryl. The Benadryl does some blocker thing to whatever the memory thing
Histamine
is.
blocker.
It's something about the histamines.
think you're
I'm
right,
not a
Kevin.
doctor, but he broke it down basically saying the thing that is going to make you stop itching is also the thing that temporarily stops this thing. And if you do this over time, you have to take it over and over and over, like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of capsules.
Yeah.
It's not like you're just, you know,
But that adds
okay. It does add up, but I feel like, you know, listen, when I was in 8th grade, I did a science project on Sweet and Low and saccharin. And me and my science partner.
Wasn't it linked to cancer?
And we were trying to figure out, like, how is it linked to cancer and rats and blah, 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 blah. And our findings, I remember in the 8th grade, guys, in the science fair, you had to drink 800 cans of Diet Coke to make the saccharin cancer link happen. And so somebody said
That's
in
very
that, guys,
doable.
in that 800 cans a day?
Oh, a day. You
Sorry, I
didn't
didn't say a day. 800 cans a day,
800
which is
cans total.
unrealistic.
I was like, that's Pepsi right there.
Yeah.
You're
No,
dead.
not over
Oh,
your
Lord.
lifetime. 800 cans a day at the
Ooh.
time. And I thought, well, maybe since we're 8th graders, we didn't really find the science. But how many times have we heard about these kids at science fairs that break through stuff?
Right.
So here I come, all these years later on Instagram, that doctor I follow that breaks stuff down, that person said that about the Benadryl thing. Like, listen, you're going to have to take like 125 capsules like a day or something for this to actually hit the way that we're talking about it. But it's nice
I
to
would
know the
still
information is there.
do your
And I am not a
research.
doctor and don't quote me on that, but it was something exaggerated like that. It wasn't like, you know, I lived in that moldy house for so long and every night I took Benadryl to go to bed and I didn't know why I was taking Benadryl. I thought, wow, I'm so itchy. It was the house that was killing us, right? So we got out of the house and got rid of that. But I took Benadryl for at least 2.5 years.
Sounds like a movie name.
What? The house that's killing me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I work for an allergy sponsor, and that was their whole thing for a long time, is that these allergy medications are not good for you in the long run. And so, you know, they have given an alternative to these medications using like these little drops that go underneath your tongue, and just they're the actual allergens. There's no medication in there. It's just like the crushed up grass and pollen in concentrated form, and then it builds up your resistance to
On
all
a
of it.
positive note, I saw a video where it had bacteria on the microscope.
Okay.
And this bacteria is going crazy, like just tearing up bacteria. And then they took a drop of whiskey, put it on there, and it killed it all. So
Yeah, and that's what it does.
Kill
It
your
helps
liver,
your
Eric.
stomach.
Kill your liver, Eric.
that whiskey's got me. Whiskey's got my
No,
back.
that's what it's killing all the stuff that's digesting your food in there. That's why they say you
Killing that
shouldn't
bacteria,
you
that's
shouldn't
good.
drink alcohol and eat at the same time, because
Why would I eat? I don't want to ruin my
Exactly. Then you get
You're having a
sober.
scotch and a steak.
right.
I'm just kidding.
You almost
Yeah.
had a scotch and
Now,
a steak. So
do you
wait, can I
guys-
say it again? Hold on. You're eating and you're drinking alcohol and it's killing the bacteria while
that
you're
are
eating?
that are helping to digest your
Oh,
food.
they're helping to break down your food.
Yeah.
Now, do all of you have an alcoholic beverage with your dinner?
No, I can't. I'm such a weak.
I don't
I
do
had
that.
a non-alcoholic beer
Sometimes.
last night.
Non-alcoholic?
Yeah.
I'll have
Yeah,
like a whiskey, like a steak place. You have that first.
Yeah, you
Yes.
drink the cocktail
Yeah.
first.
And then, yeah,
and
you're
then the
not
food
like
comes.
eating,
you have to
bottle
you're
of
wine.
not cutting a piece of steak, putting it in your mouth, and then taking a sip of scotch.
No wine.
No
Or wine.
Yeah,
Okay.
wine.
Yeah.
Hello.
Well, I've definitely had like
We
a
make
nice
this
meal.
switch.
What kind of animal do you think I am? I have class.
I can't do the wine either. Although y'all know what,
You can't
I
do
was,
wine with red
I
steak and
cannot.
red wine?
But listen, Eric, you know, obviously,
you were missing out.
For those of you who have listened to this show, it's not a secret. I come from a seafood restaurant family, and it was not until I was like 32 years old, maybe 30. That I saw the correlation between a really delicious white wine and a fillet of fish and how it enhances the flavor. I don't know why it hit me like that the way it did the day it did. I go, oh my God, this is what people are talking about.
So you're supposed to drink
This
white
tastes
wine
so
with
much
fish.
better with the white wine. Oh my God, yes, it was
Yeah.
so good. But I can't. I get
And
too
there's like
hot
chocolate.
and bothered.
You ever do that with red wine, and then you take a little wine, and then and you do a piece of chocolate, and then you drink the wine or some piece of cheese.
Try
Is it like
Tuesday.
is it like a sorbet?
We're doing
like
red
a
wine and
cleanse the
chocolate
palate?
tomorrow.
Changes it, the flavors in your
Hand
mouth.
in hand.
And you guys are just not.
Sure.
We're doing that tomorrow.
Sorry,
Eric.
Sam.
Sorry.
I gotta wait a few months.
the
Eric thinks we're all-
months of my life.
He thinks we're
Because
all
you knew the day
cretins.
you conceived.
I'm not cretins. I'm just saying, if you're going to drink that,
Uncultured.
it's fun to see the science behind it. Like
We could bring
when you add
in-
water to whiskeys and bourbons, you take a little sip normal, then you add a little bit of like a little dropper, and it just changes.
Okay, hold on. I'm calling this.
So cool.
I'll bring in caviar tomorrow with white wine. We will have chocolate with red wine, and we will see if we think it tastes better by itself.
If not, we're going to feel good.
Yeah,
The
right.
caviar-
dark
Oh,
chocolate.
I hate caviar.
And the caviar is not going to be the caviar you're thinking, Ryan. The what I'm bringing in tomorrow, Ryan's going to be the first one to lick the bowl.
Oh, I know what that is.
Oh, yeah.
wow,
From the
yeah.
restaurant.
Ryan's going to lick the bowl tomorrow.
She's right.
Yep.
8 o'clock.
I can eat that.
She's right.
But you just can't have the wine.
Right.
If you give yourself an ahi tuna steak, you can eat what I'm bringing tomorrow. Girl,
It was cooked.
that baby's
So
already
high.
cooked.
What Roula is bringing in is one of the most delicious things I've ever tasted. It's
So
so
he's not
good.
going to get a strike on his bingo
Not
card.
tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
So good.
Mystery, Tuesday mystery box.
I think he's got like 7 strikes now.
Yeah. Speaking of doctors,
Couple
let's,
turkeys,
let's
whatever they
keep
call
on
it,
this
bowling.
theme. Did you go to the doctor for one thing and you walked out thinking, "Oh my God, what? I need a liver transplant."
Yeah.
You went in for a headache. They told you
Stubbed
you need
my
a liver
toe.
transplant.
I need a liver transplant.
What happened? So we'd love to hear your calls about things you were just shocked with when you went to the doctor. And can we take pregnancy off the table? Because most people will call and say, "Oh, I thought that I had a headache, but they told me I was pregnant." Or unless you had a baby and you didn't know it, like you're on that I delivered in the bathroom and didn't even know I was pregnant.
gosh.
That's one of those.
Right.
Okay, 833-390-KRBE.
But I had to poop really bad and the baby came out.
You went to the doctor for one thing, but you found out you had
story.
this. So fill in the blanks next on the Roula and Ryan Show with Eric. Yeah. I'm having too much fun in my head. I'm like, oh yeah, the song's ending.
Yeah.
It's the Roula and Ryan Show with Eric. 833-390-KRBE is the direct connection to the studio. If you would like to share a story with us to fill in the blanks. You went to the doctor for one thing. You found out you had something completely different.
This never disappoints. I
No,
mean,
we always
we
get crazy
learn so
stories.
many things.
And, things that you can look out for as well.
Yeah, it's
If
an
you think-
education.
We were just talking about allergies and Benadryl.
Yeah.
Hey, we're on the medical line. Tell us what your ailment is.
What's your ailment?
It's the ailment hour.
Nicole.
Brought to you by Dr. Whoever.
Yeah. Nicole, you're up first. Hi. Welcome to the Roula and Ryan Show with Eric. Happy Monday.
Hey guys, happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Oh, wait. Actually, let me say this again for podcast reasons. Nicole, hi. Welcome to the Roula and Ryan Show with Eric. I hope you're enjoying your day.
I am. Thank you so much. Happy to be here. Happy Monday.
Now it's
Sam's
evergreen.
confused.
Oh,
Like,
she
why
said
are you
Monday.
saying Monday?
She said Monday.
Such a weirdo.
Oh, sorry. My
That's
bad.
okay. Don't worry.
I said Monday.
That's okay. One day when it's a Saturday and someone's listening, they'll be like, it's
Yeah,
not
they know
Monday.
it was a
That's
Monday.
fine.
It's a Monday.
So
Okay,
what'd you
Nicole.
go in for, and
Yeah.
what did you find out?
Fill in those blanks.
Yeah, so I was 5 years old and I was having headaches. So my parents took me into the pediatrician and I was getting sinus infection medicine until I started losing vision. My vision was getting impacted. So then they started thinking it was migraine. And a doctor recommended I get a MRI, and it was a brain tumor on my optic nerve.
Whoa.
Good Lord.
Oh my gosh, at 5 years old, you had a brain tumor on your optic
So
nerve.
what did they do?
Yeah, it's called. Yeah, so it's called your optic chiasm, and it's where your eye cords cross and connect your eyes to your brain, and it's right next to your hypothalamus, which is like a huge hormone regulator part of your brain. So it was kind of impinging on that. It started there, and it encroached onto the optic chiasm.
Oh, my.
And that's the only reason they caught it. So the very next day, I go to Texas Children's Hospital. So I get a brain surgery scheduled, a craniotomy for the very next day, cranial resection.
So
One
they
day.
wasted
My
no
So-
gosh. Oh,
Yeah.
man. Oh, my goodness.
It was not cancerous, thank God.
Oh.
But they removed the tumor, and then I had to come in for another surgery to radiate the pituitary gland and everything to make sure that it wouldn't come back.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So
Okay.
I
So
lost-
how old are you now, by the way, as we were talking to us and telling us the story? How old are you now today?
I'm 30 now, and I lost about 70% of my vision.
Oh.
And I've been on like hormone replacement therapy my whole life because, when you radiate your pituitary gland. That's the thing that controls all of your hormones in your body.
Yeah.
So it's been rough, but it could have been so much worse.
Now, with a 70% vision loss, does that you can't drive a car, correct?
Correct. I've never been able to drive. Thank God for Uber. I honestly was born in the perfect time period for this to happen because Uber happened right when I was in college.
And with all these new cars and stuff that are coming out, like in 10 years, you can have a car. You can have a car.
Self-driving.
It'll drive for you.
Exactly. That's why I'm so excited for self-driving cars. People like, they get all scared about self-driving cars. I'm like, hey, I'm looking forward to it, guys. Like, I want to be able to drive. Think of all the people who can't drive.
Now, Nicole,
that would be able to have mobility.
In the 25 years since this was diagnosed, when you were 5 years old, thinking you have just allergies, but it's a brain tumor, has it come back, or have you had any other
She said
issues?
it was non-cancerous.
Well, I know, but has anything else happened where you needed some kind of surgery or maintenance or something, or was that just a one and done at 5, and this is the ramification, the 70% vision loss?
No, I get an MRI every few years to check to make sure, because it could come back even with the radiation, even with it not being cancerous.
Wow.
But for extra precaution. But I did have because I lost all the vision in one of my eyes, it became a lazy eye later in life. I had to get that corrected, and that surgery only lasts 10 years, so it's coming back a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm fully blind in one eye, and I've lost a good portion of my vision in the other. So, but other than I go to maintenance, it's mostly for the hormonal issues that have affected me since then. Because my vision's been relatively stable.
Okay.
Going to law school definitely impacted my vision and made it worse.
I was going to ask you what you do
just
for a
how
living.
everybody becomes.
I was going to ask you what you do
I'm
for a
a
living.
lawyer
So you're a
now.
lawyer.
You're a lawyer. That's
what kind of
fantastic.
attorney are you?
Yeah.
What kind of law do you practice?
I just do civil litigation.
Wow, look at you.
Yeah.
I just do that.
You're the second person that I know
Yeah.
with vision issues as an
Sam and I
attorney.
were like, I don't even know what that is, but
That's
it sounds
incredible.
big.
Can I ask, Nicole, do you have any scars from this, or were they able to hide it within your hairline? I'm just sorry if that's personal. I'm just curious how they went in.
No, that's a great question. So the doctor that actually did my surgery was kind of pioneering a new method. Usually you'd have a Frankenstein type scar across your forehead, or they could go in through your nose based on where mine was. But he was pioneering a new surgery where they could hide it right under my hairline. You cannot see it at all unless I put my hair up or something. I am so grateful.
Wow.
My
That's
parents were
awesome.
ecstatic.
Yeah, I'm sure.
My parents were very ecstatic.
I have seen
Man,
that they're making bionic
incredible.
eyes now. For people that have been blind their whole life. I don't think it's Elon Musk, but they've actually come up with the first fully bionic eye that they
Medical
can
marvels.
attach those.
Hoping from now
nerve
till the
endings
next
too.
300 years will be just some crazy stuff.
Like Lieutenant
thank
Geordi
you.
on Star Trek that had the
visor.
the visor that let him see.
I need my baby Billy here.
I don't know that.
Get out of here, nerd.
Okay, back to phone. Thank you so much,
Where's that
Nicole,
drop
for that
at? I thought you
amazing
did a drop.
story.
Yeah, that was incredible.
If you're just tuning in, we're asking the question, fill in the blanks. You went to the doctor for one thing, and you found out you had something totally crazy different. Let's see. Oh God, there's a lot of
So many
them.
to choose from.
Let's go to Melissa. You're going in for surgery. You know when you go in for surgery, they have to ask you that whole checklist of things, even though you know. I don't have that. I'm here for surgery.
Yep.
And then they find out other things. Okay, Melissa has a story like that. Hi, Melissa. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Morning.
Actually, it was after I had the surgery. I had bariatric surgery about 10 years ago.
What kind of surgery is that?
And
Is that
bariatric.
That's
Yeah.
stomach
And so
stapling? Wait, is that
I
that's-
actually had a portion of my stomach removed,
Okay.
and then they reroute it. So
okay.
I was having issues with my stomach, and it looked like it was kind of moving. And me and my friend were at lunch one day and noticed it, and we were laughing, calling it an alien baby. And so it started to really concern me. So I ended up calling the surgeon's office and getting an appointment because there's something called stomach twisting that can be fatal.
Oh, geez.
wow.
So I was concerned about it, and I called them, went in, and the nurse said, have you taken a pregnancy test yet? And I was like, no, I'm infertile. I had the surgery for various different health reasons, one being PCOS.
Mm-hmm.
And so they made me take a pregnancy test, and I found out right there on the spot that I was pregnant. And so she says, you need to go see your actual doctor. And so I made an appointment that day, and I laid down on the table, and she was an internist. And she says, let me check you. And she checked me. And as soon as she touched my stomach, the baby kicked. And she says, oh yeah. She says, you're about 38 weeks. And I said, I'm sorry.
Which is what Sam is right now.
How did you not notice
she said,
this?
you are 38 weeks pregnant. And I started counting on my fingers. And I said, well, what's 38 weeks? She goes, you're late 8 months. And I was like, oh my God.
So
they have the surgery and you're that far along and they don't know it? That's insanity.
No, I had the surgery probably about 6 months prior, and they told me you cannot get pregnant for at least a year because you'll gain your weight back rapidly.
Now,
and I was like, I'm not worried about it. I'm infertile. But yeah, when you think you know your body, you don't know your body.
You did not notice that you had missed 8 cycles?
Because of PCOS, your cycles are infrequent.
Yeah.
They're sporadic, so you don't really notice it.
You only had like a month to get baby stuff
ready.
No, I didn't even have a month because 2 weeks later I delivered.
I was going to say,
a bassinet, and that next night I ended up going into labor. And so I hadn't even got adjusted to the new body before I had a son, and now he's going to be 10 in July.
Oh, my God.
And were they right about gaining all that weight back? Like, you shouldn't get pregnant? Okay, so your surgery worked, and the baby's fine, and everything worked out.
What'd you name them?
All of my children are good. I have now currently 5.
Oh my God!
So after that, you're like, all right, it works. Let's do it.
Oh my gosh, Melissa!
I had a gynecologist tell me that because of my weight, if I ended up pregnant, that I would be the reason my baby died, and those were his words.
Well, that's not a good obstetrician because
and so it plays on your heart, and you think, I need to do something about my weight, and I was pre-diabetic and all these things, so that seemed like a drastic thing, but because of the PCOS, I could not lose the weight.
PCOS, by the way, is polycystic ovary syndrome, if you don't know what PCOS is.
Wow.
Okay, and also, some doctors are very extreme, and maybe you go second opinion on stuff. If somebody has devastated your plans to have children, maybe you get a second opinion on somebody, because the fact that this one's had 5 children now, and she was 8 months pregnant when she found out she was having her first one, that's insanity. That's crazy. Okay, wow, we're getting some stories today. You guys are bringing it.
You people are crazy.
833-390-KRBE. I want to go 2 breaks. Let's just keep. We have so many calls. Let's come back. We got to take a short break. I don't want to run too late. And we have a lot of people standing by with what they thought they had when they went to the doctor, and their minds were blown when they found out something totally crazy. Next on the Roula and Ryan Show with Eric.
104.1 KRBE.
I love it. Back to Roula and Ryan Show with Eric.
Now, we usually do Scoop here, brought to you by Taqueria Sarandas, but we want to continue on with the calls that we are getting because so many of you were lined up at 833-390-KRBE to tell us about your doctor visit where you went in for one thing that you thought was pretty innocent or minor, and it was like, oh my God, that's not at all. We just talked to a woman who went in, she had the bariatric surgery. She had the
weight loss surgery.
And then she found out she was 8 months pregnant. I mean,
and gave birth 2 weeks later.
And she had been told she was infertile.
Insane. And then
like Sam, you're right there at that time, right?
I'm not as far. I wish I was 38 weeks. This countdown. I think I'm at like I don't know, 33 or like 32 or something. I don't know.
Maybe 24. She's not sure. She's not sure.
I'm better at math.
I might even pregnant.
She's not sure. Maybe she's a lot of tacos last night. Okay, Andrea's on the line at 833-390-KRBE. Hi, Andrea. Or is it Andrea? Tell me how to say your name. Hi.
Andrea, hi.
Hey, Andrea.
Okay, so you went in for one thing and you found out another. Tell us about it.
I went to urgent care because I had some stomach pain, thinking that it was something I ate from the night before.
Okay.
And then they run CT scans, and I find out they told me that my aorta was blocked.
Whoa. And it was translating to pain in your stomach, not your chest? Or your shoulder or your arm or the things that we hear about?
I think they were just like looking in that abdominal area, and then like however they did the scan, like the aorta was just captured on that CT scan.
So you had like blockage. Like, are we talking about bypass surgery you had to get?
Yeah, what happened? Right then they send you to the hospital for surgery.
Well, see, this was at an ER. I went to an ER, and then they said you need a consult with a vascular doctor.
Yeah.
So then I go to see him, and then he runs a bunch of tests and said, I've ran everything I know what to do with you from vascular standpoint. He goes, I think you need to see like a more specialist, even more than me.
Cardiologist.
Oh, man.
So then he recommended that I go to the Cleveland Clinic in Cleveland because he gave me an option, go to Cleveland or go to the Mayo Clinic in Minnesota.
Holy smokes.
Wow.
Houston, Texas couldn't figure you out?
Whoa.
Oh, my
No.
gosh.
So
And then what
then
happened?
I go, my husband and I, we make the trip and we do a plan and we go to the Cleveland Clinic because they see like rare cases, like that's what they do. So I have like a consult with like one of their doctors, and then she came back and said that your aorta's blocked. If I had a guess, this is a long story, I'm just shortening it, but the same doctor, I said, how long have I been this way? Because I didn't know that I was like this. And she said, if I had a guess, like 10 to 15 years.
Oh, wow.
She said it's caused by you have two different types of vasculitis. But she said, what we're going to do is we're not recommending surgery because they said that it would be really invasive for me.
Uh-huh.
So I never had surgery, and I can't have medication to basically unclog the little
Well,
blockage in
what
my
did they
aorta.
do then? If you can't have the surgery and your aorta's blocked,
And you can't take medication.
yeah,
You have to live with it?
what'd they
Yeah.
do? Did they expand it or?
No, they're not doing any of that because they said that your aorta travels blood flow from that blood vessel to your arms and your legs.
Yeah.
So,
So you're a ticking time bomb then.
Well, I don't know. Did you want to call yourself that?
I feel like that sometimes,
Oh,
but
I'm so
I've
sorry.
been checked for 2 years in a row, and the vasculitis that I have, it's in remission.
Wow.
So
Okay.
for now, I'm okay.
Can I ask
but
a
they
timeline?
check me annually.
Wait, hold on, Andrea. Let me go through a timeline here.
so
You are
sorry.
how old when you go to the doctor for the stomach pains and they tell you you have a blocked aorta?
This was 2 years ago. I was 45. I'm 47 now.
Okay. So you went to the Cleveland Clinic. They said no to surgery,
How long did that
no to
take?
medication.
From finding out, and they sent you to those two places. Was it a week later, 2 days? You drove right up there the next morning?
Oh, no, this was I think I went in the first week of January in 24, and then that's when the vascular doctor that I was telling you about, he ran all his tests, and then I had to wait for results to get that back, and then I didn't go to Cleveland until June of 24.
Yeah, you
Oh,
wait
wow.
months, Eric.
That's what I figured, but
Well, I
I
was
didn't know
thinking if
it's
it's
big.
Right, if it's that
yes,
urgent.
it's so urgent. Especially
They
we
could
don't mess
squeeze
around
you
with
in.
heart
Yeah,
valves
it's
and all that kind of
great. I had
stuff.
to wait 5 months and then I
5
have
months
a
and all
heart
of a
attack.
sudden it just stops. Wow. So I guess
So
right
then,
now you just have to wait it out. Andrea, you said it's in remission,
Yes.
the vasculitis?
Yes. Yeah, my vasculitis is in remission, and then they're just checking me annually. And they said that I'm getting the proper blood flow to my arms and legs.
Mm-hmm.
They said it's not a reason of concern. They said that they said it's basically typically your aorta would get blood flow to your arms and your legs, but because it's blocked, it's kind of like the way they described it. This is the best way, but they said that it's kind of like instead of taking the freeway, your aorta or your blood flow, your circulation, it's like taking all the side roads.
You're on the feeder.
That's how
Now,
that's
may
how
I
I'm
ask
getting
you,
blood flow to my
did you
arms and
have
my
to
legs.
change any dietary
Wow.
things because cholesterol could possibly make it even smaller, right?
Yes, I heard Eric talking about statin earlier, and I've been on that for years. But I'm on a more more aggressive a statin to keep my cholesterol levels down.
Uh-huh.
They changed my cholesterol meds, but they did tell me to be very aggressive with exercising, diet, especially with my arms. They said be very aggressive with your arms, biceps and triceps, to basically just generate more blood vessels in my arm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay,
Can
to
we
get
go
the
back
blood
to the
pumping
tummy
moving.
ache? Did the tummy ache totally
insane.
dissipate from the stress of finding out you had a blocked aorta? I mean, because something
Or was
sent
that
you.
a sign? Because people
or
are
was it
texting
like a
saying that's a thing
sign?
for women,
Oh, it is a sign?
that it's not like men, that women can feel in the stomach.
Yeah, was the tummy
That's what
ache
Texter said.
actually
No,
related
it's-
to the blocked aorta, or did you actually have some food that didn't agree with you and that just went to the wayside because now the aorta news has overtaken your mind?
My tummy ache was totally separate than this.
Wow.
Because they said whatever you ate last night is really tearing you up, but it has nothing to do with your aorta. You just ate something really bad.
Like 2 for 2. You thought you could knock out one and you come back with 2 things.
Too many jalapenos on that.
Dang, girl.
Okay, wow. Well, look what we all learned. Vasculitis. I didn't even know that exists.
You, I would not be able to watch the Rockets game tonight. I would not be able to watch playoffs.
Oh, that's a good point.
Astros,
Andrea, can you watch things like Astros in the World Series or like playoff games or stressful things like that? Or do you have to like turn it off because it would
my
your
watch
blood
would
pressure?
my watch would go off my eye.
No, I watch until like the bitter end. I'm not like you, Roula. I don't turn it off.
I turn it off. I put it on mute.
I think what it really means is, does that kind of stress endanger you?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, they just told me that they're going to keep an eye on me annually, and I have to do my scans annually, and I did them all in February of this year, which is 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, they said that, like, yeah, you're still getting proper blood flow to your arms, your legs, everything looks like, I mean, it's blocked.
How does that make you feel, Roula? She watches the whole game, and she could actually, with her heart.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm listening to my body.
Listen to her.
And I know that that's too much stress for me, so I have to turn it off or put it on mute when I watch playoff games. Oh, wow. Andrea, thanks so much for calling our show. And I think you probably educated somebody today because next time somebody has, a different pain, they'll go to urgent care. I mean, I know it was unrelated, but you go to urgent care, listen to your body, and look at what you found out.
What do you have to lose? Better safe than sorry.
I'm glad you're okay.
Everybody should act.
Check in with us, Andrea.
I love you. I love you guys. I listen to y'all every day, so I love your show.
You too. Big Roula and Ryan show with Eric. Hug to you, Andrea.
Pray that never acts up again.
Keep listening, even though Ryan offended. A lot of people are offended by you.
You're real mad about that.
Offended what I do?
You don't even realize sometimes. You like to say it. I'm not gonna say it
because I
again.
said that you could be a ticking time bomb.
Yeah, a lot of people.
I did not mean that.
know.
Why
I
even say it?
apologize.
This is mean.
I just like the fear that you have to live with, knowing that could happen.
I'm just like, oh.
I'm so sorry. Then
That's what we were all thinking.
He didn't mean anything by it.
I really, honest to God, I'm sorry.
No, you don't want to offend anybody else.
I have one. I don't remember if I told you this. I ripped my abdomen muscles, like I had a hernia basically, and they did ultrasound on it, and they couldn't find that. They had to actually open me up to find that. But what they did find when they did the ultrasound was cysts on my kidneys.
What?
Oh,
Yes.
what does that mean?
Nothing I can do about it, y'all. And
Are you a ticking time bomb?
It is almost a ticking time bomb. I have to stay on top of it and make sure that I don't have too many of them. They can create blood in my urine. So, like, if I ever have, that situation happen, it's probably like,
but you can't stop anything.
Cysts are bleeding now.
So you went to the gym and you worked out so hard that you tore a muscle to give you a hernia.
I tore a muscle doing construction.
Okay.
Overhead. I was doing overhead sawing for like a whole day, and I ripped something in there, and I just let it go for like maybe 2 years.
It was a long time.
It was a really long time. I was in pain. So finally, they're like, "Well, let's try doing a little ultrasound." They didn't find any tear when they did that. They had to.
But they found the cysts on your kidneys.
Yeah, they found those. I was like,
and
"Oh,
how much did you pay for that?"
Oh,
and
Lord.
I was like, "Well, God, do I need to get new kidneys now?" They're like, "No, we'll just keep an eye on it." Keep an eye.
You're like, I want a new one.
And come to find out, they do go away, and then they come back.
Oh, okay.
It's like they come and go.
You're still living your best life.
Oh, here we are, new one.
Still, that's frightening.
You're still shimming down the aisles at H-E-B to share. Like you said earlier.
Roula and Ryan show with Eric.
104.1 KRBE.
Shebang bang.
All right,
By the way, can I give it the listener number because we didn't do that? 713-278-VENT. We had a lot of people calling in about filling in the blanks of the doctor's visits. Y'all go there and tell us your stories.
And we'll bring it back. We bring it back like once a month or whenever we
It's
feel
really
like.
interesting.
Whenever remember.
Yeah. Hey, that was fun. Let's do that
We got
again.
a lot on our
So
list.
the Houston Zoo's annual adults-only foodie event, it's called Feast with the Beasts, is returning this Friday. So here's how it works. Guests age 21 and up, they can enjoy food from local restaurants, live music. General admission tickets only cost $149, but that includes 2 free drinks. I say only. I
think
know
the
that's
animals
a lot. But
they're like, excited for this event because they get to watch humans eat and they make fun of them.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right?
that's funny. Instead of us watching them eat.
Yeah, they're like,
ooh,
look at that
they're about
Kevin
to
guy.
eat.
They're
feasting.
It's so messy.
But they have VIP.
They catch it on the floor. Like the little monkeys will come around and pick up my little scraps.
You're saying a monkey butler?
Yeah, it's a Righteous Gemstones. They got a monkey in the movie.
Do they really? Because
Yeah.
I still haven't watched that season.
Yep, the monkeys.
I kind of like him now.
Like a chimp.
So
A
the
chimp is
event,
their
like I
server.
said, is this Friday. The event will run from 6:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. with the last entry at 8:30 p.m. So if you want to go do something completely different, eat with the animals, I guess. It's called Feast with the Beasts.
They're like, oh God, am I next?
I know.
I know, right? Am I the beast?
That guy's
Or
really
am I
eating
the
now.
feast? Which
Kevin,
one am I?
I heard you talking about this last week. For the first time ever, Fleet Week is coming to Houston. And the same year that the U.S.
Pull those
Navy...
ships right in.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the same year that the Navy and the Marine Corps are celebrating their 250th anniversary. So the event's going to run from November 5th through the 12th, and they're coming into the Port of Houston. That's Turning Basin as well as the Bayport Terminal.
You know, Kevin will be there
Actually,
first in line.
There'll be between
You know I will.
Hi.
1,200 to 1,500 sailors and Marines are expected to be in Houston.
Sorry.
Oh my gosh.
I can't take you anywhere.
No,
I'll
you
take
can
it
take
there.
me to Fleet Week.
Yeah.
You simmer that over there. You simmer there with your
Houston.
Think about that. That's two things he loves: men and ships.
chips.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
uniform.
Dudes.
Yeah, but that is odd that they're coming into the port of Houston because that's a difficult port to access for just the layman, a regular person. There's only one cruise ship terminal where they don't even use. Galveston would have made complete sense, but
Yeah,
whatever.
it's not like going into like New York or going into
Yeah.
Right, New York, you're right there.
Chicago.
Yeah,
like,
This is like way over in the bowels of Houston and the ship channel. Like,
Yes, the ship channel is not where you think vacation.
no,
It's where the containers are coming with your Nikes.
yeah, these Navy officers,
You know what I mean?
the
Like
sailors.
the cars are coming in there
But
on
I
the
think
containers.
they'll find Ubers and shuttle buses to get them here.
All right, this is like 35 minutes just to get into downtown without traffic.
Those young men won't mind. And
No,
women.
that's true.
Okay, well, you let us know how that works out for you. If you missed what happened on
Tim's gonna walk
today,
around with that little hat.
I know.
And then, like rolled up his shirt.
I'll be down there.
got a little hat.
I thought he was going to be dressed like
A
the
little
Cracker
sailor
Jack.
sailor hat.
the Cracker Jack.
I'm going to rent a van and go down there and pick them up and give them a little tour.
Ahoy, boys! Ahoy!
He's got a little white dog with a ring around his side. He's got his Cracker
did
Jack
y'all
outfit
think I was
on.
picking out love with a van full of chicks? Oh, no, I'm the show. I'm the show.
Howdy ho, sailors.
Okay, Fleet Week. When's that happening again? I totally missed it.
November 5th through the 12th.
Okay.
Kevin
So
knows.
it's a ways
There you
off.
go.
Oh, yeah.
Kevin's
I
got it on his calendar
I
just
have
like
it on my calendar.
Christmas.
Okay. If you missed what happened on the Rose's update today, Stacy checked back in with us after Jacob had duped her into believing that he was on sequestered jury duty, but we found out he went to Cozumel for the first time with a coworker who is female. It was not good. You'll hear the update next on the Roula and Ryan Show with Eric.